Hi team, it is Crystal Milligan here, and I am really excited to bring you this training this week. I've been talking to a lot of our coaches, and some people are struggling as far as with posting on social media, and it is a refining process. And so I wanted to share with you this week. I'm just going to make it a very quick, brief video sharing my top social media tips for posting on social media as a Beachbody coach. First of all, I just want to say I have horrible lighting right now, so do not follow suit or take that as a tip right now. It's later at night and I don't have an extra light on my face, and so it's a little bit darker. But we're going to run with it because this is for you guys. This is not to have some amazing video right now. And so we're going to keep going. So just a few basic tips. So I want you to take notes, and I want you to ask yourself if you're implementing these things with your posts, and ask yourself, how can I get better? That's the first thing that we have to always be focused on, is always be refining ourselves. So don't ever think that, yeah, I've got it made. Oh, I totally understand this. Yep. No big deal. Yeah. I got this. Always aim to be refining yourself in all aspects of coaching, but so definitely in your posting, right? Because over time, your post should be getting better. You should be adding more value. You should be getting more, even better content, and even more engagement over time. That should be the trend. And so, when we start, we're all on different levels, but I know that when I started, I was horrible because I didn't post on Facebook, and I wasn't, this is not something that I did. There are some people who are naturally just really great at words, really have eye-catching pictures. And then there are those people like me who needed to work on it. And so I'm going to put this out there, that it's probably most of you, because I find that it's far and few in between that have just that natural knack for it. There are definitely those people on the team, and I will tell you those people, you want to know who they are, I will tell you who they are. And, you can go and check out their posts, and you can go and check out their pictures and stuff, because I even will take notes on what they're doing, because I look at their stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to be a coach on their team. I want to work with them. Like, I want to know what they're doing. Or yeah, like I feel like they're talking to me and like they're my best friend. So obviously they're doing something right. It's very appealing. And so I aim to take notes from what they're doing, even though they've been coaches for a lot less time than I have. So again, always kind of peeking around, seeing what people on our team are doing, or maybe other coaches, and seeing what draws your attention. And so, refining yourself, not comparing yourself to somebody else, not trying to be like somebody else, but just taking notes. Success leaves clues. So take notes and figure out, okay, am I like this person anyway? And how can I use what I'm learning from them? How can I be like that, but in my own way? So pay attention to what is attracting your eye, is catching your eye, is making you want to, be a part of something, and then saying, okay, so how can I do that? How can I make my post more like that? And what is different from me to them? Right? So think about basically, as far as making sure that you are adding content and adding value. You want to make sure that you are not just adding things on the fly. I am very much a person who posts on the fly. I don't like to plan out my posts a whole lot. I plan a theme for each month, and so I have that theme written down on my whiteboard and in my head, so that I can constantly am thinking about that theme. So that is running through my head, and then I feed off of that, and I create my posts from there. And that's what works for me. Some people like to have all of their posts planned out, and they have them either saved in their notes or planned out ahead of time, so they're in their planner or Google Docs or whatever it might be. Or you might be somewhere in between, where you're a happy medium of those two. Either way, it doesn't matter. But you want to make sure that not all of your posts are on the fly, right? So yeah, there's going to be times where we post a selfie of what we're eating for lunch or something like that, and sharing maybe a restaurant that is a favorite one of ours or something. But you don't want to always just post on the fly. You want to have some kind of value, some kind of content that you are providing. And if you're just posting on the fly, you're probably not doing that, right? So what I aim to do is I aim to, especially on my Facebook fitness page, I aim to have at least a recipe or some type of, like right now I'm doing holiday tips because it's the holiday season, you know, here and there, or something of that sort, something that's going to add value, an article or a tip or something of that sort every single day. So people are coming back because I'm adding value, I'm adding content. If you're on your personal page or if you're on your business page, think of the things, you know, that we talk about that make up who you are, right? And so we say, like, think of the 3 to 5 things that are you. And what are those things? So you might be the person who is really into hair and makeup. And for you, you know, people are always asking you questions, or people will compliment you on certain things. And so maybe you share your favorite hair products. I'm sorry, I can't even think of it because it's totally not who I am. But think of, maybe you share your favorite hair products, or you do a video on how you do you blow dry your hair or something like that, and how you get it to be so perfectly straight. Again, that's not me, but maybe that's you, and that's how you're sharing. That's how you're adding value. So just to show you, it doesn't always come back to fitness. It doesn't always come back to Beachbody or anything like that. It could be adding value in any of those ways. So, you know, for me, it could be something along the lines of adding value as far as, I'm obsessed with kombucha, and I'm really like kind of like a secret health nut, or not secret, but like I'm a crunchy granola in disguise, or whatever I always say. And so maybe I would share how to make kombucha, and then I'm going to start doing that at my house, and then go through that journey with somebody, and share that on there. And I'm adding value in that way. Or I add that I don't have time, or I don't make the time, I should say, to make it at my house, but I found this amazing place that sells it by the jug, and they make it, and I want to share that with everybody that's locally to me because it's an awesome thing. And then maybe I add value in another post by sharing what kombucha actually does for you, and how it helps with digestion and aids in that, and that healthy gut bacteria and stuff like that. So those are just a couple of examples of how you can add value, add content without talking about fitness, without talking about Beachbody. But you want to make sure that you are not just doing every single post on the fly. Again, not every post is going to have that content in it, but that you definitely have a good, decent amount of value that you are putting in every single day. So we always talk about that. You want to make sure that you are adding value. You want to make sure that you are sharing your story. So when you share your story, you have to think about branding yourself, right? So how are you going to be different from every other Beachbody coach, right? You have to brand yourself. So what is your brand? It essentially is typically who you are. So what are you going to be known for? Do you have a really dry, sarcastic sense of humor? Maybe that's what you're known for. And so you should have that come across in your posts, because those people will connect with you on that. Maybe you are a healthy, crunchy granola freak. You should have that come across in your post. So like I have a friend who's super crunchy, and she is really into and she, not to say that I'm not into this either, but she does the baby wearing and the breastfeeding, and she connects with all of those kinds of people because that is what she's really into, and that is a part of her. So she's branding herself, and then those people are connecting with her. So you have to think of, what are those things that make up who I am? And then you need to talk about those things so that people can relate to you on those levels. And then you start attracting that, because you will attract who you are, but you need to put that out there. So go back and look at your posts and say, okay, how am I different? And how am I going to differentiate myself? How am I going to establish myself and who I really am and create that brand? Also, I want you to think about this. We are often afraid to share our struggles. And you don't have to share the deep and dark and dirty secrets going on in your life or whatever else. I'm not saying that you have to bare your soul on Facebook or anything else, but know that often, people put this whole perfect image out on Facebook, and that is kind of old or whatever. Sure, it's appealing to a certain extent. The grass is always greener, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes down to it, if you start sharing your struggles, you are going to be more relatable, right? So again, you don't have to go to like a level 10 zone on the sharing factor on certain things. You can share on a level 4 and still be considered sharing and being vulnerable and sharing your struggle. But it's turning your mess into your message, right? And there's a reason why you're going through what you're going through. So somebody else is going through that out there. Somebody else is having a hard day. And if you posting about that can help somebody else out and help them through you just sharing your journey and your struggles and what you've been going through and how you're planning on overcoming, that is huge, right? There's a reason why we go through these things. So aim to turn your mess into a message. Show your personality, not your uplines, because we often, and that's when I was talking about, following other people and let success leaves clues. This is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to copy someone's post word for word. I don't want you to copy everything someone else is doing, because you are not them. I want you to brand yourself, right? I want you to show your personality, not my personality, not so-and-so's personality, not anybody else on our team, but I want you to show you. And there are definitely, again, some people who do this and they do this well. And then there's the people that have to learn that. And again, I'm that person. I had to learn that, and I'm still learning that. I'm still kind of coming into my own. I'm still refining. I'm still working on that on a regular basis. And that is something that a lot of us will need to do, and that's okay, as long as you're continuing to move forward with that. But again, if you want some examples, I would love to share with you some great examples in the comment section when we talk about this on our team page. So I have some great thoughts in my head of all different kinds of people on the team who are branding themselves and who are definitely not your everyday typical what you would think of as a coach, that they're sharing certain things in a way that is inviting and is intriguing and makes you want to hang out with them, or go get coffee, or, whatever, just spend time with them because they just are so cool and you just want to be friends with them, right? That's exactly what we're looking for. So brand you. Make sure that, that you are definitely branding yourself and not your upline. As far as that, like, think of the different things, again, coming back to that, the 3 to 5 things that make up who you are. So I know somebody on our team who is amazing at organization. And so she should be sharing that kind of stuff. She should be sharing different organizational tips. That's how she could add that content, add that value. I am not that organized. I've realized I used to always think that I was very organized. I'm a little bit of a hot mess, basically. I am organized chaos. So I have my systems and how to work things, but I am not that person. So for her, she's going to appeal to those people. She can give tips. She can help me add value into my life, add content, give me some content on how to get more organized and how to make things happen and the benefits of organization and stuff like that. So that is something that, even though you think like, okay, what's my personality? I don't have anything going on in my life. I'm just, I've had people say this to me. Well, I'm just a mom. I don't have any hobbies. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. Okay, great. But there's something to your personality that is relatable, that you can add value to people's lives about, that you are really great at. So something like that, organization, could be one of those. You don't need to have a life to be organized, right? I guess. So, or it could be like maybe you're great at budgeting. Maybe you've always done the budget for your family and you've learned how to really get the hone things in and do coupon deals or whatever else or something like that. Maybe you share about those kinds of things. Again, that's not me. I've never been really great at that. But you have to figure out what is going to work for you and really brand yourself. Think about, maybe take a poll and ask a handful of your close friends, what are the 5 things that you think of when you think of me? And ask them, and maybe that will help you to answer that for you. And those are the things that you want to be talking about and you want to be sharing about and you want to be adding value with on your page. The last couple of things I'm going to talk about are more so just little ideas, but quality pictures. This is huge. I always considered myself somewhat of an artistic person. I took a lot of art classes when I was younger, and I used to really enjoy that kind of thing. But I am not as visually talented or computer literate as a lot of people that I know. So again, I had that uphill battle where I had to teach myself a lot of these things. And so I want you, again, to look and notice somebody's page that really catches your eye and think, why does it catch your eye? So Instagram, your pictures are going to be huge because people will scroll through your Instagram and they will make a judgment on you in about 5 seconds or less, like 2 to 5 seconds, whether or not they want to follow you, whether or not they're going to spend any more time, if it's worth it to spend time seeing what you're doing. So if you were to look at your own page, would it be visually appealing to you? I know at one point I did that and I was like, heck no, it's not visually appealing at all. And so I refined some things. I started using some certain apps. And again, this is not, everything or whatever, but I'm going to look it up right now. One of the apps that I use that I think has helped me is Square Size. And so it gives you a border, a white border, or you can do a different color, but a border around your post. So I have like this clean, like when you go onto my Instagram, I consider it like you have like this clean kind of look because everything has that white border around it. So it all kind of looks crisp and fresh. And then I aim to stick to 2 certain colors when I'm posting any kind of text on my pictures or in my photos and stuff. And I stick to like a hot pinkish type magenta, kind of like the color of my yoga mat right there, or a bright yellow, kind of like the color of the walls in my office. So, and then I aim to make my pictures pop or be really kind of faded and foggy. So I go between the two to aim to have some kind of a theme. So you want to have some kind of a theme that is visually appealing that could catch someone's eye. I've seen some people on Instagram how they will do certain things where they every first, like say, you have 3 posts across your page, right? And so every first post is a black and white quote photo. Every second post is a food picture. And every third post is some kind of selfie, right? And they have that consistently day in and day out on their page. They're always making sure that the next one is in line with that, so that when you look at their page, all their black and white quotes are on the left, all of their food pictures are on the middle, and all of their selfies are on the right. And it looks really good, I think. But I don't do that specifically. So, just kind of taking note of certain things that are appealing to you. And okay, how can I implement these? How can I put these into action? And how can I, again, refine myself and get better? Same thing with Facebook. People are going through the scroll and they're just scrolling like really quickly. So do you have a picture or a video that is going to catch their eye, or a headline in the first like 2 sentences, maybe the 3rd sentence, that is going to capture their attention, right? So you have to think about that. Again, people are not just going to randomly stop on you and just give you the time of day. You have to have something that's going to catch their eye. There has to be a reason. Are you adding value? Are you sharing content, sharing your story, or are you being engaging? You know, people love to give their opinions. So asking them to help you decide on an outfit that you're going to wear to whatever Christmas party, asking them to help you decide on which present to give your husband or whatever between the 2 or something like that. People love to give their opinions, and that kind of stuff is engaging and is going to drive up people connecting with you on your page. It's going to drive up your engagement. So quality of pictures is huge. Visually appealing is huge. Make sure they're not all pixelated. Make sure that you've cleaned off the camera on your phone if that's what you use. That's what I use. Make sure that you put them through, I can't even think of the word right now. Oh my gosh. Make sure that you put them through a filter to make them look crisp or clean or bright or whatever you're going for, but make sure that they look good, because I see people who look like they're like shaking or something sometimes in every single picture, and it doesn't look that great, right? So maybe get in front of a window that has some natural light coming in at you, or, you know, move around a little bit. Like, again, this is not the best light for, you know, doing videos and taking pictures, but if I put that on, that's a little bit better so you can see me better, right? And that's going to help provide a clearer, more crisp type of picture. So looking at the lighting when you take a selfie, maybe turn this way and say, oh, that looks not so great. Oh, but if I turn this way, and obviously right now on the camera, because it's over here, it doesn't look that great. But if I took a picture from here, the light shining on me, it would look pretty awesome, right? And so paying attention to those kinds of things, and maybe taking more than one selfie or taking a couple and using that. Act like you are talking to your best friend. Act like you are having a conversation. So make sure that if you read back through your post, that it would be something that you'd be saying to your friend over the phone. Or if you were talking to somebody that you knew, that you like, think best friends, like, oh my gosh, guys, can you even imagine what the heck that would be like if we ever did XYZ, you know, or however you would talk. Like I say all the time, I call people sister. I don't know where it came from. I think it came from one of my friends, but then now all my friends say it. And we always like, oh, I totally know what you mean, sister. Like I say that to people that I don't know them from a hole in the wall, but it makes them feel like they can relate to me, like we're on, like, connected on some basis. So I talk to them like I talk to my friends, like I talk to my best friends, and that's really important. I'm going to turn this light back off because I'm noticing how tired I look. So conversational, just act like you're talking to your best friend, right? And then last but not least, a little tip, writing samples of content, adding samples of, you know, posts in your notes ahead of time, right? So you are going to start to go and think about, okay, my next post, my next post, my next post. And doing so can help you in the fact of you can be listening to your personal development, and literally I'll listen to 10 minutes of personal development and I'll get 5 to 10 different quotes that I can use, or some type of a couple of content driven posts that I can use just from listening to my 10 minutes of personal development each day. Like with the 6 months to 6 figures that I'm listening to now, I literally have a bajillion quotes that I can use for like the rest of all of next year. So yeah, using that kind of stuff for your content and whatnot, but using and writing those samples into your notes section on your phone, because that way it's just there. And so when you don't have time to sit down and make a post, and you do have to be on the fly, you literally go to your notes section, you find something that's speaking to you that day that you've already written down in there, and then you post it up with one of the selfies that you've taken from, you know, the previous that you haven't erased yet. Like, so take a couple of different selfies at different times. Take a couple of different things when you're doing your workouts. There's a thing called burst mode, or on your phone. I have an iPhone. I don't know what kind of phone you guys have, but you can put it on a 3-second timer or a 10-second timer. So I can literally pose and then have the timer take a picture of me. So you can do a couple of those at a time and then save them and then use them for different posts, different inspiration, different motivation, and stuff like that. People want to see you. Remember, you're branding yourself. So go ahead and put those things into your notes and have a couple of those ahead of time. I know when I went to Summit, our national convention, I didn't want to be on social media all the time. I wanted to be enjoying my team and the speakers and the environment around me. And so what I did is I posted a handful of content driven, like adding value type things. Like I did a supermarket tip or whatever, something like that, because I knew I was going to go grocery shopping when I was there. Something as simple as that. And I put all those different posts into my notes. And then when I had my pictures or whatever else, or when I wanted to post it at that time, I just had to go into my notes. It literally took me 10 seconds maybe to copy, paste, put it with a picture, and then I was done. So that's the last tip. So again, go back, think about these things that we've talked about, start the refining process. Don't ever stop the refining process. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You guys are all very capable of doing this. Like I said, it has been a learned thing for me. I have not been a natural at any of this. So you can do it too. And I look forward to helping you guys along this journey.